Hello and welcome to the Evolve Pipedrive podcast, where we talk all things Pipedrive, sales, apps, and the Pipedrive marketplace. My name is Bruce Bignell. I'm the sales director here today, and today I'm joined by Ivan Grisedale, the co-founder and CRO at Lodago, and he's going to walk us through the Lodago tool and some user journeys with Pipedrive and Lodago itself. Over to you, Ivan.
Hi, Bruce. Thanks for having me here today. I'm Ivan, co-founder and CRO at Lodago, which is a new tool that allows you to send emails with your calendar directly integrated, always displaying your real-time live availability inside the email. For the recipients, it's just a couple of clicks and the meeting's confirmed without them ever leaving their inbox. So it's less friction, gets more meetings, and it's the only one of its kind on the market, Bruce.
Nice. So this is the Lodago platform you've got here open.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at here then?
Yeah, so I'll give you a little walkthrough, Bruce, perhaps. So essentially, this is the tool itself, a web-based SaaS solution. You'll see on the left side here, there's a personal and admin user choice. The personal user opens up with an easy-to-view dashboard. The admin user, obviously, when they first set this up for the user, I'll just show you here, they would set up their own branding, so they can add their own logo, for example, and brand guidelines for personalization, customization. They can also turn off the logo for Lodago, which is really important. Other solutions don't necessarily always allow you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They can also manage all of their licenses. So, if they want to add people in bulk or the odd user here or there, they can do that quite easily. They can manage all of their company invoices, etc. And then they can also look at individual user KPIs from an administrator point of view. So it's really, really intuitive for them. But for the end user, Bruce, it's really simple. As I say, they have an overview dashboard, which highlights all of the KPIs for emails, etc. And it's really easy to get started. So, for example, they'll first of all synchronize their calendars. So they can decide when the first appointment in the day they want that to be. They can also decide within their own calendar how many weeks they want to display. Some people might do a couple of weeks, some people do a couple of months. It's obviously down to personal choice. And they just simply integrate their calendar.
Just on that there, Ivan, do you have any research to kind of say or experience, is it best to have it open for the rest of the year or 4 weeks? I mean, what's the... Because
Yeah.
if someone books some time for me for September 17th, I'll be like, bloody hell, like how important is that to them? Are they even going to bother turning up?
Yeah.
Is there any
It
research
is.
around that?
Yeah, it's a really great question. As far as statistical research, I'm not sure what the actual numbers would be, but we do see quite often, for a salesperson, for example, they might not want to show a whole month on their calendar because if they're not that busy, for example, it might not look
Yeah.
too great. So they might just want to show a couple of weeks. But also, I guess it's the recipients, thinking about how far ahead would the recipient want to book a meeting. Essentially. So, I guess on average, most people would probably look, 2 to 4 weeks ahead on their calendars, usually, thinking about holidays and those kind of things. So that's probably a good time span, to share on there. But again, it depends, the type of meeting that you book in, who the sender is, who the recipient is, and what their call to action and use case might be. So it might be, you want a longer period to give more, flexibility. But the great thing with the tool as well is actually it's a good question. We do have something called reminders that I'll show you in a second, and that actually helps contribute to the no-show potential. It's always a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I love it. Okay, yeah, it does also depend on the, to your point, the call to action. If you're booking in a meeting for a dentist appointment, you might as well book it in for
Exactly.
6 months to a year's time. So
Yeah, and some
yeah,
dentists, I know mine is certainly working a good few months ahead of themselves. So
yeah.
it's the challenge, isn't it? A dentist said to me once, only clean the ones you want to keep. But you have to think about that whilst you're waiting for your next appointment sometimes.
Well, that's it. Sorry, I interrupted your flow there.
No
So
problem.
3 hours, 4 weeks, number of weeks to display. Cool.
Yeah, for sure. So as I say, step one is really simple. They just integrate their calendar. Obviously, whatever's on their own calendar that they integrate with it, it picks up all of those, free spaces, blocked out spaces, etc. So it's really easy. The next thing they would do is look at their calendar booking links. So they can create how they want their calendar to appear. So similar to other solutions, you've always got the ability to create a booking link. So for example, You can put in the title, you can put in the agenda for the meeting, the duration, etc. This can be really helpful actually, Bruce. So for example, if you're looking to embed it on a website and you want a call to action, book a demo, for example, or book a meeting, they can click on there directly from the website, and it will take them through to that booking calendar from your website. So there's multiple use cases naturally for this, and as you can see, however they create the agenda, etc., and their branding, their logo, that's how it appears. So it looks very personalized to the end user. So that's really quick and easy to do. The next thing they would want to do is choose their video conference tool. So if they're having lots of online meetings, for example, if they integrate a Google Calendar, it'll automatically insert a Google Meetings link. If it's Outlook or Office 365, it'll automatically insert a Teams link. But they've always got the option, some people prefer to use Zoom or WebEx, etc. So they can use the tool of choice and get at that really easily as well. We've also got an instant messaging tool actually, Bruce, and we're just about to launch this live today actually. So it's quite limited in what I can show you on this, but essentially this can integrate with WhatsApp, for example. So if you're the person who's sharing the calendar is available immediately, you can instantly direct to an instant live chat
Nice.
as well. So that's going to be really cool. That's a market leading feature actually that doesn't quite exist in this context today as well. But essentially, once they've connected their services, their tools of choice, what they want to do then is just create some email templates. For example, I've created a number on here, as you can see. They can use the editor to, show that in the best way possible, and they can also insert the Lodago calendar on here. Now, you'll see in a moment when we jump into Pipedrive, Bruce, that the templates will actually pull into there as well, so they can just have a quick drop down and they can select those from within Pipedrive as well. So they don't need to be coming back to the tool. It's all fully integrated within Pipedrive, nice and easy. And again, it could be different types of email messages that they're sending out to different prospects for different reasons, different call to actions, but always inserting that calendar so the meeting can be booked directly inside that email as well. And then really just jumping over, as you asked earlier, just about reminder emails, there's always a big fear about no-shows. How far in advance do you book those? And we do include, there's a series of reminders, again, by choice. You can decide how many reminders, how frequent they'll be sent to, the person that you're hoping to have the meeting with, so they don't forget, which can often happen as well. So that's it's a one-time setup for the user. They can come back and change their templates and those things at any point if they want to. But then I guess jumping over them, Bruce, into Pipedrive, it's really simple. They just go to the marketplace, they install the plugin Lodago from Pipedrive's marketplace, and then essentially to use it, they would just come to a contact that they want to send an invitation to. So we have an example here, Julia, or Julie, I should say. They simply come to Julie, and then as you see on the right-hand side over here, there's an ellipsis, as we call it, or the three dots. They would just click on here. They'd request a meeting, and it'll actually connect through the integration within Lodago itself, whilst they're still in Pipedrive. My recording button is just hiding up here, but you can just see the button here, send email. So if they click send email, essentially it opens the template. And what we can do, Bruce, I'll do a live example for you. So I'll send it to myself as an example. We can tick the box to say if it's an online meeting. They can select the meeting duration. So I'll just say 15 minutes in this instance. And then they can put in their own message, or they can use the templates on there. And essentially then if they wanted to insert the calendar, they just click on the button here. Obviously, if they've created the template already and they select a template, it'll just drop all of that in for them automatically. And that's it. They just press send, and that's it, job done. So the email has now been sent to the recipient, and you'll see this in real time now, Bruce. It pops into my email inbox. Hopefully Microsoft is a bit quick for me this morning, and it just pops in here really nicely. So it's a direct message with my calendar integrators, and they instantly see my calendar. You'll also see, as I mentioned to you, start a live chat or an instant meeting options at the bottom there as well. But essentially the way this works now, it's the least amount of actions, the least amount of friction. So for example, if I want to book a meeting now as the recipient of this on the 8th, I just click on the 8th inside the email. It shows me in real time what the availability is. So this isn't going to bounce backwards and forwards.
So I'm just going to pause here and kind of restate this, because what's happening here is this is inside your email, right? So you're not going to another page. this is all hosted within email itself, right?
It is, exactly.
Yeah.
And as you see there, once they select the date and the time, inside the email, it instantly confirms that meeting is actually booked. So they never leave the email, they're never being
Yeah.
redirected. There's no fear of third-party sites, etc. And the meeting is actually booked directly. You'll also notice then instantaneously, myself as the sender, or maybe the salesperson sending this out to a prospect, I've also received a confirmation email to tell me that a meeting's been booked into my calendar directly as well. So it's super efficient both for the sender and for the recipient of the meeting. The great thing is as well, just to pick up on your point there, Bruce, as well, is because this is real-time integration. As we know, sometimes we all get emails. So statistically, I believe 120 emails a day on average, most people around the world receive, which is a lot. And often we'll park those emails. Now, if I park this email and I say I'll come back to this in a couple of days, sometimes it might be a week later, it travels down my inbox and I'll go back to the email. But as soon as I open it, it's always real-time integrated. It never changes. It never goes out of date. I'll never get a bounce back. It's always real-time, which is really helpful to the recipients. And especially if they, talking about no-shows earlier, if they need to cancel or reschedule that, they can also do that directly inside the email as well. So, for example, if I just come back to the email here, click on cancel appointments, it actually does that directly inside the email and instantly gives me the option to reschedule that appointment in real time as well. So it's really quick and simple for the user, all within that email chain as well. And again, obviously, I'll get a cancellation notification, so I know that there's been a change from the person attending my meeting as well. So that's kind of really how simple it is. So it's quick and easy to set up. It's very simple to install and use. Send a meeting invitation with your calendar integrated to your prospect from within Pipedrive, and then for the end user, least amount of friction, a couple of clicks, and the meeting's actually booked. Even if they park it for a few days, it's always real time. There's no fear of going backwards and forwards. And if they ever need to change that meeting, again, they can always do that from that original email directly as well. So it's nice and simple.
Yeah, no, I love it. Well, Ivan, thank you very much for walking us through the platform itself and how it integrates with Pipedrive. We'll be sure to have in the description below the link to this on the Pipedrive marketplace, and if you go to the Lodago website, you can sign up for your own personal demo and even trial the software yourself there. Ivan, thank you very much, and until next time.
Brilliant. Thanks, Bruce.
Cheers.